BlueHelmetASMR, back with another video. Today, as you can probably tell by the title, I'm going to be doing some reading to help you sleep and relax. I tried to get the room as dark as possible. I'm recording this at it's like 1:30, so in the afternoon, so it's not going to be dark outside, but this is the best time for me to do it, so I tried to get it darker in here than I normally would. So, for the book, I picked probably the most boring thing I could possibly read. It is Pennsylvania's Best. It's just a collection of stories and historical stuff about what PA has done, to help the country and history and just historical parts of it and stuff like that. So, I don't know. I got it at my local, at the time, my local library. There was a sale. Got a bunch of books, and this was one of them. So, and it's a hardcover. I think it makes really good tapping sounds. It smells like an old library. That's weird. I just sniffed it, but it was like glue. I think that's what it is. It's like an old glue smell. But we're just gonna get right into it with no delay. Find a random page and start reading. I haven't really read this book, if I'm being honest, so it's gonna be new for you, new for me. I just got it because I thought it was very cool. I have a lot of pride in Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from. So let's see. Just pick a random spot. There are some pictures in here. I guess if I could show you a couple. Just start right here. Let's see. Section 2, Chapter 3. It was 3 years before the English were ready to take Fort Duquesne. Each summer, they sent out expeditions against the French. Each winter, they retired to the quarters from whence they'd started. Whence is such a cool word. I think it's top 5 words ever. Whence. The early years of the war were all in favor of France. The French captured Fort Oswego. I'm going to mispronounce some of these words probably. On Lake Ontario and Fort William Henry near Lake Champlain. I think that's how you pronounce Champlain, yeah. The British attempted to capture Louisburg. It's French, so maybe it's Louisburg. I don't even know. The great French fortress on Cape Breton Island. That's about 5 words I have not been sure how to pronounce in like 2 sentences. I promise. I know how to read. Okay. Let's see. The great French fortress on Cape Breton Island ended in dismal failure in the army of General Abercrombie. Attacking Fort Ticonderoga was almost annihilated. The settlers fled the frontier all the way from New York to Virginia, and flame and tomahawk swept the land. The only success of the British during this time was the capture of Fort Bourgeois. I don't speak French. On the narrow isthmus connecting Nova Scotia with the mainland. It was the result of this, and probably because of the large contingent of British troops with the Acadians, whose leaning was strongly pro-French, that the Acadians were carried away from their villages and distributed among the British colonies to the south. Switch sides here. William Pitt, head of the British ministry, clearly saw that regardless of the spread of war in other parts of the world, the winning of the American continent was of supreme importance. first-class military officers. He recruited new regiments, obtained large funds from Parliament, and promised the colonies reimbursement if they did their part in supplying men for the colonial line. Excuse me. As the tide turned, Amherst captured Louisburg. John Bradstreet compelled the surrender of Fort Frontenac and Forbes with Colonel Henry Bouquet. Around the fall of Fort Duquesne, the starting point of the Forbes expedition was Carlisle, one of the oldest military posts in the country. When the town was laid out in 1751, a stockade, Fort Lowther, was built as a refuge for the prisoners of the western frontier. In 1756, Colonel John Armstrong and 280 men had marched from Carlisle to destroy the Indian town of Katanning. Carlisle was founded at the seat of Cumberland County. It lies 18 miles west of the Susquehanna River, near the head of the Cumberland Valley. It was from this valley the Confederates took much of their booty on their memorable retreat from Gettysburg. See Section 3, Chapter 4. Will do. For several decades prior to the Civil War, Carlisle was an active station on the Underground Railroad, harboring many escaped slaves. On the afternoon of July 1st, 1863, 5,000 Confederate cavalry under General Fitzhugh Lee approached the town and demanded its surrender. These cavalry were some of Stuart's men who had ridden around the Union Army and had been cut off from Robert Lee by the strategy of Generals Hooker and Meade. Discovering a small Union force at Carlisle, he started shelling the town until word reached him that a major battle had begun at Gettysburg, whereupon he set fire to the United States Army barracks at the edge of town and galloped away. The oldest building in Carlisle is the First Presbyterian Church on the northwest corner of the square. 1774, colonists met here and uttered the first words of organized protest against tyranny. In May 1776, they drew up a local Declaration of Independence. Washington worshipped here in 1794. Dickinson College, the 12th college to be chartered in the United States, was founded at Carlisle in 1783. In 1879, the famous Carlisle Indian School was established. This was the first non-reservation school in the country. Its football teams gained wide fame. Jim Thorpe, football star and Olympic champion, was trained at this school. During World War I, the school was discontinued and the plant turned into an army hospital. At the intersection of Hanover and High Streets, the public square was used as a camping ground by Indian delegates in the days when the French were in the Ohio Valley. It was to this square also that the Indians, after being defeated by Colonel, I think it's Bouquet, in 1764, brought their prisoners. Among these captives were Regina Leininger, who had been seized by the Indians when she was yet a small child. Now, in early womanhood, she was not able to recognize her mother, nor could her mother see in the drawn, tanned faces of the prisoners anyone who made her think of Regina. I am aware, that it says Indians, and that's how I'm reading them. Man, I know it should, be Native Americans or whatever, but just for the sake of this, I'm just going to read what's in the book. So yeah, I'm just gonna go off of that. But Mrs. Leininger, that's what it is, was sure Regina was there and would recognize her if only she could say or do something that might stir her daughter's childhood memories. It was then she began to sing the words she once had used the lullaby she sang in German. which he had been detailed, goodness. She took his place, acting as cannoneer for the remainder of the day in 1758, while preparations were being made for the campaign against Fort Duquesne. General Forbes was taken ill, and in July, Colonel Bouquet, with an advance guard, proceeds to the vicinity of Raised. There, on a nearby bluff, he erected a fort, which was to serve as base for the Forbes expedition. Just gonna read maybe just a little bit more. This stuff's really interesting to me, so I could probably sit here and just continue to read this, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll read a couple more lines and then I think we'll call it quits. As far back as 1751, Robert Ray had established a trading post and erected several buildings near where the I don't think that's Juanita. This river, cutting through the mountain, makes a natural stopping place. The settlement took the name of Raystown, but it was changed to Bedford in 1750. This is as far as white settlers were permitted, but in spite of treaties with the Six Nations and Shawnees, in contrary to the injunction of the governor, certain adventurers settled on Indian lands beyond. Of course they did. When they presumed to remain, the provincial authorities burned their cabins in Fulton County. The name Burnt Cabins is a reminder of troubled times on the Pennsylvania frontier. Alright guys, that's all I'm going to read today. About 15 minutes of reading or so, about 13. I hope it relaxed you. I hope it put you to sleep. I hope you enjoyed my whispers. Yeah, that's all I got to say. I enjoy doing these reading videos because I like reading, so I could sit here and read. A couple more videos coming up. I'm gonna be recording. I'm just gonna record them probably after this one. So the next couple videos, if you see it, I look the exact same. This, my pink shirt, my beanie. I promise I changed my clothes. It's just recorded in the same day. So I have a little idea for. I just did 100 subscribers. The last time I saw it was like 101. So that's awesome. I'm not gonna speak on it too